Guys, Tszyu is back. He's one of the most exciting boxers for me personally in the sport right now. Potentially, I'm biased. He's a fellow Australian, came up on the Australian scene. Actually, though, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of his. It wasn't until his last performance against Fundora, which I really just became an instant fan. After suffering that massive gash on the forehead in like the second or the third round, for him to make it through all 12 shows you how much of a warrior that guy is. He talks about being an old school throwback fighter, and I think he has definitely earned that title. You see the way he fights, and it's with vicious intention. Yes, he's a smart, calculated, very technical and skilled boxer, but his heart, will, drive to hurt you is what makes him so special and separates him from the rest of these guys. Like I said, in his last fight against Sebastian Fundora, he almost had him out of there in the first couple of rounds. Looked like he was on his way to a knockout, and he looked like he'd figured out Fundora's style, which is a crazy thing to say for him taking that fight on such short notice. He was supposed to fight Thurman in that matchup, instead gets Fundora, a guy who is a skyscraper. Different style, completely different switch up, and he was doing very well in those opening 2 rounds. Suffered the cut off a brutal elbow, and it really changed the tide of the fight. It took Tszyu a few rounds, to get comfortable with that cut. You could tell that really impacted him. But like I said, for him to rally mentally and stay focused for the next 8 rounds is so fucking crazy. That guy is an absolute warrior. He was still in there trying to win. He could not see, This is the job of the ringside physician. The fighter, especially like Tszyu, is going to want to fight until he's not conscious, until he can't fight anymore. If your fighter can't see, pull him out. He doesn't need to take that much damage. Although Fundora isn't necessarily a huge puncher, he was jabbing that eye up all night of Tszyu after he sustained the cut. Tszyu was taking a lot of shots he wouldn't have been taking if he could have seen. So for him to get through to the 12th round, finish the fight, and, it be very close on the scorecard still, yes, he takes the loss, but his stock only rises, and him taking that loss is going to make him so much more hungry. His return as well, speaks to the savage nature of the guy. He was supposed to fight Ortiz in his comeback fight. Another savage, absolute killer in this division. That fight didn't happen, and, potentially for the best. He's coming back in straight into a world title fight against a guy named Bakhram Murtazaliev. I don't know if I've got that right. To be completely honest, I hadn't heard of this guy before the matchup was announced. Just looking into his career, yes, he's 22-0, but his record looks questionable. Tape wasn't that easy to find on him, Seeing a few of his fights, he looks dangerous, but Tszyu should be the favorite going into this matchup. But again, it just speaks to Tszyu's mentality, accepting a fight against a 22-0 Russian undefeated world champion who no one really knows much about. But if they're coming from that side of the world, they're going to be tough and tested. I'm super excited to see Tszyu back in the ring. I don't know if you guys have seen this training drill he does. His coach will line up 4 coins on a board and throw them up, and Tszyu's using hand speed to catch them all before they hit the ground. It's one of the most nuts things I've ever seen. It doesn't look necessarily so hard. I don't know if you guys think that, but give it a go. It is fucking crazy. Tszyu is a firefighter. He is very exciting when he's in there. Like I said, very good fundamentally. Great footwork, great jab. He'll like to eat a shot sometimes to deliver one back. And that's, maybe the only drawback about Tszyu. He is so dangerous, though, moving forward. His offense, when you go offense for offense with him, you're going to come off second best. So, yes, his style is come forward, pressure, attack, but he's very smart in the way that he does it. And I think that is going to be only evolving moving forward. Those smarts, that ring generalship, that IQ, what that experience at this level in the world title fights brings is invaluable. You know, he has a great team, very close-knit, family-orientated team. He lives the lifestyle of a warrior, you know. He's very dedicated all year round. He lives and breathes boxing, and he has his whole life, you know. His dad was a fantastic fighter, world champion, probably the best fighter to ever come out of Australia. So Tszyu is back, and I cannot wait. Even though it's going to be a tough fight, I think Tszyu, his hunger mixed with that skill and aggression is going to put on a really, really special performance. And once he has that world title again, like he said, it's just a bargaining chip. He wants the big fights, the big challenges, like he said. He wants to fight the best, and having that title will only allow him to do exactly that. So guys, tune in. Tszyu is back. It's going to be an absolute cracker. Thank you so much for joining me. The support over the channel recently has been really, really insane. If you could continue to like and subscribe, I would really appreciate that. And we'll chat soon.